Welcome in to Cozy's Ghost Adventures. Today I'm going to tell you a story called The Midnight Golfers. Let's go. It was the night before college graduation, and a group of close friends. Carter, Emily, Jake, Olivia, and Justin. Carter, Emily, Jake, Olivia, and Justin decided to spend their last evening together before heading off to different parts of the world. They wanted to do something spontaneous and fun. Something to mark the end of their shared college years. And what better way to do it than a round of midnight golf, right? There was an old abandoned golf place on the outskirts of town. It had been there for decades, forgotten by most of the town's residents, but still there. Half overgrown with weeds and trees and moss and you name it. No one really played there anymore. But the friends had always heard stories about the place. How it was once the site of a tragic accident. How strange things had happened on the course late at night. None of them took the rumors very seriously, of course. They were young, with the thrill of doing something a little dangerous made it all the more exciting. We've all been there. They snuck out to the course, the moon casting an eerie glow on the greens, their laughter echoing in the empty night air. Oh, everything felt so surreal as they played. The sounds of their footsteps and golf clubs striking balls were the only things breaking the silence for a while. But then, something about the place didn't sit right. Hairs on the back of their necks suddenly stood up as the air felt very thick and oppressive. And the further they wandered into the course, the worse it got. They reached the 18th and final hole. And then it happened. Justin, always the daredevil of the group, swung with too much force on his drive. His foot slipped on the dew-covered grass, and with a sickening crack, he crumpled to the ground, clutching at his leg. The sound of the bone breaking was unmistakable. Whew. Not cool. Justin! Carter rushed to him, but the damage was already done. Justin was in agony. His leg bent at that very, very unnatural angle. The friends tried to help him up, but the pain was way too much. They quickly realized they were in no condition to get him back to the car, all with no cell signal. They were stuck. "I'll go for help," Jake said, looking nervously toward the dark trees surrounding the course. "Stay here with Justin. I'll be back as fast as I can, okay?" Olivia, and Emily tried to help Justin just keep calm, but his breathing was very shallow. The pain was unbearable. Carter stayed by his side the whole time, wishing he could do something more to help. And then the whispers began. At first they thought it was the wind, or perhaps just their nerves. But the longer they stayed there, the louder the whispers became. Very soft voices, too far away to make out the words that they were hearing, but close enough to send a chill right down their spines. It was almost as if the air itself was speaking, calling them. Emily's eyes darted very nervously toward the trees. "Did you hear that?" she said. "I heard it too," Olivia whispered right afterwards, her voice trembling. What is that? The whispers grew louder still, now accompanied by the sound of something dragging through the grass. Hot damn! The friends glanced around, their hearts were racing. Shadows moved outside the edge of the light. Dark figures gliding between the trees. Jake! Carter shouted. But there was no answer. The atmosphere grew heavy. The temperature dropped very suddenly from 48 degrees at this point all the way down to 33. Jake! Carter shouted. No answer. The atmosphere grew heavy. And they could see the breath forming right in front of them in the darkness. Justin's face now went pale, and he gripped on Carter's arm. Get me the hell out of here, please, he said. But before they could do anything, the shadow now grew clearer. Figures emerging from the darkness, tall and thin, stepping out from the trees one by one. They did not look human. Their movements were jerky and unnatural, like marionettes pulled by invisible strings. Their hollow eyes glowed faintly in the dark, and their skin was pale as death itself. Olivia screamed, "We have to leave now." But something stopped them from doing so. A voice, very deep and cold, echoed through the course. "You cannot leave. Not yet." The ground trembled beneath their feet as the shadow circled around them. Guys, closing in, closing on in. They could hear the footsteps now, slow, deliberate, as if the figures were savoring their fear. Suddenly, they heard a voice. It was Jake's voice, calling from behind them. "What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing?" They spun around to find Jake standing by the entrance to the course, his face pale and covered in sweat. But there was something about him. His eyes were glazed, his movements stiff. "Jake!" Carter shouted. "What happened?" There's the haunted printer again, right on cue. Jake did not respond. He just stood there, twisted smile on his face now. "They're waiting for you," he said, his voice no longer his own. It was as something else had taken control of him. "They're here for you," he said. With a sudden horrible realization, the friends now understood that Jake was not Jake anymore. The once Jake that they so much loved and respected and had fun with was no longer there. Just a figure that looked like Jake. He'd become something else, something part of the nightmare that surrounded them. The shadow surged forward now, and in the panic, Carter and the others tried to drag Justin to safety, but they couldn't move fast enough. One of the figures reached out, its icicle fingers brushing against Justin's broken leg. The moment that it touched him, he screamed, not in pain, but in sheer terror, as you can imagine, as though his soul was being torn away forever. "Run!" Olivia screamed, but fortunately, it was too late. The figures were upon them, their cold hands pulling them into the darkness now. When the authorities found the group the next morning, they found Justin still alive, but unconscious, his leg gruesomely shattered. Jake was long gone, his body never found. The others were shaken, pale, and incoherent, murmuring about shadows and whispers and this and that, about how they could feel the cold breath of the death surrounding them. All the things. To this day, the friends never speak of what truly happened on that course. But they all know one thing is for sure. Whatever those figures were, they didn't want Justin. They wanted them all. And sometimes when the wind picks up in the quiet night, they swear they can still hear Jake's voice calling them back into the darkness. The end. The Midnight Golfer stories. What do you guys think about that one? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. And as always, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.